and welcome to RETROGAZM! Yeah, that's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yes, and this week we'll be looking at
Castlevania! Welcome to the RETROGAZM, a place where we take a look back at the wonders of console and arcade classics that made us the gamers we are today. We're delving into the world of Castlevania, and perhaps one of the most famous and well loved of the series was Super Castlevania 4 on the Super Nintendo.
First up, some history. The game was released back in 1991 as a sort of remake of Castlevania on the NES, and it's firmly placed its name in the halls of gaming awesomeness. Its plot was simple. You, Simon Belmont, are a vampire hunter in 1691 and you're in Transylvania, obviously, hunting down the most famous vamp of them all, Dracula.
What you get is a dazzling side-scrolling platform action game where you tackle the tricky 11 levels. This game chucks some of the best level design ever seen for this genre, and some of it can punish you hard, but it never gave you the feeling of sod this, I'm not playing anymore. Yes! It was hard, but something you wanted to overcome.
You start the game with 3 lives. Not a lot when you consider pretty much any enemy does a fantastic job of totally nailing you. Their positioning is very well thought out too, like you jump up on a ledge only to have a skeleton knight hit you, sending you off the edge and to your doom.
A lot of the enemies are very different in how they move with their attack patterns. Birds that swoop at you, bats that cause obstructions, bloody frogs that just want to get off! So to cope with all of these varied movements, the developers spent a lot of time working on Simon Belmont's whip, which can attack in 8 different directions using the control pad.
If you held the attack button, the whip would go limp, allowing you to swish it around in all directions.
Hello!
This will allow you to block projectiles launched by the enemies. It could also be leveled up twice to increase its length and power. Aside from whipping the bones off skeletons, you can use it to latch onto rings to swing across perilous gaps. All of these elements added together to really give the player a sense of full control over the whip and become a master of it.
Secondary to the whip, Simon could pick up weapons that he could use that consumed Simon's hearts. Not life hearts as often confused. The hearts that drop have a value, and each time Simon uses a weapon or a magic potion, this value decreases. The weapons had varying effects on gameplay, like the axe could be thrown in an arc to hit enemies above and below, or a magic potion that would burn the ground, or a watch that could stop time briefly. All added significant gameplay to Castlevania 4 that a lot of games at the time lacked.
The game was directed by Masahiro Ueno, who was also the main programmer. However, Konami didn't allow its staff to use their real names in the game's credits, as the team was so talented they feared rival companies would try to poach them, so Masahiro was credited as Yun Furano. Due to the team being small in size, everyone was involved in the design, and some ideas came from the artists and programmers experimenting. Mitsuru Yaida is the man who programmed Simon and implemented the whip system, which changed the landscape a lot for Castlevania as it offered more freedom than the original NES version ever could.
A lot of time was spent creating the level's bosses. Perhaps my favourite boss was this scuffle with Frankenstein's monster. I loved the way he was animated and beat the crud out of me when I messed up. Tweaks to the boss system made them much harder, as originally they were designed so that players could find weaknesses and effective weapons without having to retry. But they removed that and chucked us all in the deep end. And yeah, there were a lot of retries and shouting. There may have been some tears too. Other changes included some alteration to level 8's colour palette in the English version, as the level contained some depictions of blood. Blood's too scary? Really?
The soundtrack to Castlevania 4 was composed by Masanori Adachi and Taro Kudo. This added so much to the game's look and feel and gave it a living atmosphere that is memorable today. The sound design overall was amazing, with its unique whip sounds and special effects that breathe life into the game's awesome levels.
Upon its release, Castlevania secured top scores across the world and has since made many top games ever made lists, and we can see why. The colours, the gameplay, the atmosphere driven by its thumping 16-bit digital audio, the challenging bosses, and excellent level design elevates this as one of the standout classics of our time and will be cherished by many fans old and new. So strap on your whip, grab your vampire hunting trousers and go see if you can take on Transylvania and Dracula himself. was Super Castlevania 4, fantastic game, and if you haven't got it, or if you want to get it, go out, get it, buy it, play it, and do it right now, because it's awesome.
And don't forget, don't let your whip go limp.
That's right.
Well, don't forget to leave a like if you like the video, and subscribe if you haven't already for some more gaming goodness.
That's right, I've been Bren.
I've been Jay.
And this has been a RETROGAZM.